Okay, so we're recording now. So hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson. This is Great Writing 5th edition and we are going to learn a little bit more about this program as we go through here. Oh, sorry, wrong button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to our classroom presentation tool now so we can just start using it as you might in a lesson with students, okay? Now, actually, I want to do one thing before we start with that, though. I want to check who's here today. So I'm opening up a poll. You should be able to see it on the screen now. If you're on Facebook Live, sorry, you can't respond to the poll. But if you're on computer or phone, please try and respond to the poll. Let's see who's all here today. We've got more than 300 people in the Zoom channel. So I'll just leave this open for a few more seconds, just to get an idea of who's here. I can see we've got a few students here today. Nice to see you. Got a lot of teachers. Okay, so I'm going to end polling there. Thank you very much. And so the results, just to share really quickly, about 2/3 of us are teachers or lecturers or something like that. And then others of us are in different areas and a few students as well, 10% students. Okay, so great to see. I'll stop sharing, close that. And now I'm going to switch to the classroom presentation tool. And this is on the screen now. You should be able to see a picture of something in the chat box. What can you see on the screen at the moment? What is this? What can you see here? Okay, it's a kids playing ball, a basketball game, some sort of activity, two kids playing. Okay, question. Is this a real, are those real kids or is that like a painting on the wall? What do you think? Is that like a painting on a wall or is that actually kids? You think it's real? Some people think it's a painting. Okay, interesting, right? So this is all about perspective, right? Because if I take this and I zoom it out a little bit, let me zoom out here. Why is my zoom not working now? Oh, it's going the wrong way. Okay, 1 second. If I zoom out, there we go. Now you can see that, yes, these are actual kids playing basketball, okay? And we can see from the little note up in the corner here, this is in Havana in Cuba. And this is the title page for the unit. We're looking at topic sentences today, okay? But down the bottom of the screen here, there is an activity that we're going to look at to start with. Right down the bottom here, we've got a thing that says free write, okay? So let me try and circle that for you. Oh, why is it not circling? Doesn't matter. We've got a free write down the bottom here, okay? Now I'm going to get you to do a little free writing, and for this we're going to use the Padlet. So if I jump back in the chat window, I'm going to drop the address for Padlet again, okay? So if you open that link, then what should happen is you'll go to a different window, which I'm going to go to now as well. So if I go back to my Padlet, you should be able to see this. Okay, now if you can remember, or you can also show or see the picture on the screen, what I'd like you to do is I'd either like you to write a fiction sentence or a non-fiction sentence about that picture that you just saw. Okay, you can write anything you like. I've got 2 examples up here. So for example, because he was jumping while Tony was flat-footed, Max easily had the space to take a good shot over his taller opponent. Okay, that's a fiction sentence, right? Non-fiction, basketball is a popular sport played by, for young people all around the world, okay, and so on, right? So what I'd like you to do is, some people are already doing it. If you can just type in any sort of sentence you like about that photo that we saw, okay? For some people, if you're having trouble with sound, please check the settings at your end. It may be that your volume is down, okay? We've got some people typing things in at the moment. That's great. Lots and lots of people typing. This is cool. So you can see I've got a massive class here. There's more than 350 people here today, right? But if you imagine for a slightly smaller class, maybe 20 or 30, you could use this kind of activity to quickly gather sentences from everybody, right? I'm just looking down the list here. What have we got? Basketball is one of the popular sports in the Philippines. A little bit higher and Tony could get that ball. Very nice. Basketball is a game played with 4 quarters. Great. So everybody's putting in some sentences, right? This is good. And the point of this activity in the book is just to get people to write, right? We don't have to write for some great essay or something like that. We can just write sentences and share ideas and information. There we go, a really basic one. It is a silhouette of kids playing ball. Very nice. Great. Okay, so tons and tons of sentences going in there. That's really cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to the other screen. If you want to finish your sentence, we'll be able to see it later. Okay, but I'm going to switch back to my main screen now, and we'll keep looking at our lesson today. Okay, so feel free to come back off the Padlet, come back to the Zoom window when you're ready, and we'll continue onwards, right? I'm just checking my notes and my time. I have a lesson plan, right? So let's move forward and take a look at one of the first things we're going to do today. So what we're doing first here is we're looking at topic sentences. Let me zoom in here. What is a topic sentence? So up here it says a topic sentence, okay, states the main idea of a paragraph. It's usually found at the beginning of a paragraph, not always, but usually at the beginning, okay? It has several important jobs. These are the things we need to do, right? So it introduces the main idea. It limits or focuses the topic. We don't want a paragraph to be about too much, right? And it often tells the reader the information that's going to be in that paragraph, maybe how it's organized as well, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little activity. Now you can answer this in the chat box, okay? So I'm going to ask you first, let's do question 1. Can you name 3 benefits of exercising regularly? What are 3 benefits of exercising regularly? In the chat box, what are 3 benefits? Good health, stamina, good. Sleep better, become physically fit, good for your health, good for your mental health. Gives us more energy, boost your immune system, big muscles, healthy heart, more confident, wellness, fitness, healthy skin, de-stress, ideal weight. Okay, great. You guys have got tons of ideas about this one. That's great, right? So these are 3 benefits of exercising regularly. Okay, now, number 2, what are 3 reasons that people do not exercise regularly? What are 3 reasons that people do that they don't exercise? They're lazy, lack of time, lazy, too tired, too busy, don't have time for that. Lack of discipline, very nice, not their priority, busy schedule, priorities, they're sick, they're at work, okay, lack of motivation, great. So you guys have got some good ideas. So introducing that idea first lets me get you to think about what we're going to read about in a short paragraph in a second, okay? Now, before we do that paragraph, we're going to look at a few words here. So there are 4 words. I'm pretty sure that you know these words, but if you were teaching this in class, maybe you'd want to check these words with your students, okay? So we've got climb, we've got improve, we've got in good shape, and we've got reduce, okay? Climb, to go up, right? Improve, to make something better. To be in good shape, okay, is not about your physical shape, but just how healthy you are, right? Are you fit? Are you healthy? Do you have stamina? If so, then you're in good physical condition, you're in good shape, okay? And to reduce is to make less. Now, obviously in this class setting, I can't get you to tell me answers, but what I would normally do is I would ask my students, can you make a sentence with those words? Okay, can someone give me a sentence with climb? Can someone give me a sentence with in good shape? And when they do that, then I can see that they understand the usage of the word, okay? Great. So let me go down a bit. Now we've got a paragraph down here. So everybody take a quick look at this paragraph. It's a nice little photo at the bottom here too, okay? Reasons for exercise. I'm just going to read it out for you to help. There are many excellent reasons for exercising several times each week. First, people who exercise look better. Exercise is important to keep our bodies in good shape. In addition, people who exercise have more energy. For example, a person who exercises can walk up stairs or climb hills more easily. People who exercise have a healthier heart too. Finally, exercise reduces stress and helps you have a clear mind. Too much stress can cause you to worry a lot, and that is not good for your health. For these reasons, if you want to improve your health, you should exercise regularly. Okay? Would we agree with that? Do you agree with that paragraph? Yes or no? What do you think? Does that paragraph make sense? Okay, people are saying yes. I don't think people would say no to that one. Interesting little photo down here, anti-gravity yoga. This looks interesting. Has anyone tried anti-gravity yoga before? Has anyone tried that? No? Anyone? Okay, right. But yeah, anti-gravity yoga sounds interesting, right? Okay. I'm not a yoga person personally. I'm like a more like a cycling kind of person, but it looks interesting, doesn't it? Okay. So what we're going to do now that we've read the paragraph, we remember the paragraph, right? Let's go and look at an activity at the top of the next page. Okay. Now it says here, what is the topic sentence of that paragraph? What is the topic sentence? I'm going to go back to the paragraph so you can see it. What is the topic sentence here? Can someone put it in the chat box? What is the topic sentence? Reasons for exercise is the title. Yeah, very good, Kitty. There are many excellent reasons for exercising several times a week. That tells you, you know, there are reasons and we're going to learn about them, right? Let's look at question 2 over here. What do you expect to read about based on the topic sentence? Well, I'm pretty sure we expect to learn about some of the reasons, right? Okay. Now, number 3, it says these words or expressions are very important in the organization of the paragraph. Now, why are these words important? We've got finally, first, in addition, and for these reasons. Why are these kind of words important? What do those words do in the paragraph? They make a sequence, that's true. They signpost, very good. They connect ideas together. They transition, good, yeah. So each time we see one of those words, we know we're going to another reason, right? So we can use these kind of words in our writing to like list or organize the reasons that we're looking at, okay? Good, okay, so let's take a look. So finally, first, in addition, for these reasons. Let me zoom out a little, so maybe we can see everything on one screen. Here we go. Okay, so now hopefully we can see. Let's see, can we number where those ones are? So wow, Indaluk is really fast, if I'm saying your name correctly, sorry, is 4, 1, 2, 3. So we're saying here, this is 4, 1, 2, and 3. Let's see if we've got that right. So finally is near the bottom. Okay, there's finally. First is up here. That looks like number 1, right? In addition, number 2, that looks good. For these reasons. Oh, for these reasons is way down here. Ah, okay. So actually this one needs to be number 3, and this one here needs to be number 4, right? Cool. So it should be 3, 1, 2, 4, right? Very nice. Okay, typo. Yeah, good one. Okay, thanks. Very good. Okay, nice job, everybody. Okay, so let me just quickly clean this up here. Very good. And we'll look at the last question here. Let me just zoom back in a little bit again. Last question says, read the last sentence carefully. What do you think the purpose of this sentence is? Okay, so the last sentence, if I zoom back down here, for these reasons, if you want to improve your health, you should exercise regularly. Okay, Mary Grace has already put in there. It's to persuade you, right? It's to tell you, so we've just told you why it's good, so hurry up and go do it, right? Yeah, it's a suggestion. It's a call to action. Good job, John. I like that, to reiterate the point. Very nice. Good, so these are, in this way, we're analyzing the paragraph, right? Now, later on, when we write, maybe we can call back to these points or pull back here and say, okay, did we give a call to action? Did we list using sequencing words, right? Did we have a good topic sentence? And this is a good model for the students to use. Okay, great. Now, next activity, we're going to do this one on a drop-down screen. Let's just read it quickly first here. It says, read each set of sentences. Which one is the general topic of those sentences? And then choose which one is the best topic sentence. Okay, so I'm going to pull up an activity window. Okay, so pull this one up here. So you should be able to see a window with some orange buttons at the bottom. So here we've got 3 sentences. Winter is a good season. Winter weather is cold and it snows. The best season for children is winter. Now we kind of know the answer. It already gave it to us, right? So on the left here, it says winter is the topic, right? So we've got the general topic is winter. The best topic sentence out of that is the best season for children is winter. Now, why is that one a good topic sentence? right? Why is it good? Okay. It's sharing, maybe it's sharing an opinion, okay? And so we're going to learn about what that opinion is, okay? It informs us, it gives us a bit more detail. Then again, winter weather is cold and it snows. There's a couple of detail points there, right? But it's maybe relating it to some other things. So for children, for example, okay? It's targeted, okay? It limits the discussion, limits it to children, doesn't it? Very good, right? Okay, let's take a look at the next one. See if we can do the next one together, right? So here's the next one. Soccer is popular for many reasons. For a soccer game, players need a special leather ball. Soccer is a nice game. Okay, so what's the basic general topic here? Basic general topic is soccer. Very nice. Okay, now what is the best one? Is it the first one, the second one, or the third one? 1, 2, or 3? The first one, yeah, most people saying the first one. Soccer is popular for many reasons. Let's learn about the reasons. Good job. Okay, so we've got that one. Nice job. Okay, let's take a look at the third one. We'll do one more and then we'll move on. There are many people in Los Angeles. People from many different cultures live in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a big city in California. So Los Angeles, great. Okay, now which one, 1, 2, or 3, do you think is the best one? Second one? Okay, some people are saying 3. Difference between 2 and 3. Okay, let's take a look and see what it says here, right? So this one is saying number 2, people from many different cultures, right? So I think the focus here is going to be on the cultures, the different cultures, right? So the Hispanic cultures, the African-American cultures, maybe the Asian cultures that are present in Los Angeles, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe we're going to look at all of those things within Los Angeles. Okay, good. But I can see maybe why you say Los Angeles is a big city in California. That might work. The other one seems a little stronger. Okay, great. Okay, let's jump back out. I'm going to zoom back out here, go way back out. Let's jump to the next page. We're going to look at a different activity. But before we do that, we need to learn a little bit more about the features of a topic sentence. So it has 4 features, as we can see here, okay? First one says it has a controlling idea. Now, we've already looked at that, like soccer is a controlling idea. Los Angeles is a controlling idea, okay? The second one, now this one's interesting. It's not a fact. A topic sentence is not a fact, okay? Libraries have books is not a good topic sentence, okay? It might be better to say, many people enjoy libraries as a great place to read, okay? That would be a better topic sentence about libraries, for example, okay? It's also specific, so it tends to limit the discussion a little bit, but also it's not too specific, so we've got some room to discuss the topic sentence in a little more detail, to give some examples, right? To share an anecdote or something like that as well, or to argue a point, okay? So we've got to leave ourselves a little room to have some more sentences after. So if we say there are many reasons, great, let's learn about the reasons. But if I say my topic sentence is the reasons for exercising are A, B, and C, I'm kind of done. I've been too specific in my topic sentence, okay? Great. So let's take a look down here. Next activity, we're going to look at how we use these ideas. Let's quickly look at the controlling idea. And to do that, we've got a few more words here that we don't maybe know. So we'll just review these quickly as well. So we've got addictive, okay? Can you give me an example of something in the chat box? What is something that is addictive? What is something that's addictive in the chat box? Sugar, coffee, drugs, computer games, chocolates. Yes, okay, great. So because you know those kind of ideas, then I know you know what addictive means. Okay, advantage. If something is an advantage, it's a good thing. It's a positive, right? Today, we are using Facebook Live. It gives us a lot of advantages to be able to spread this webinar to a wider audience, for example. Okay, to confuse is to get mixed up so you don't understand. I think we know that one. Educational, okay? The root word obviously is education, but then we put the AL, it makes it an adjective, right? To describe something that involves teaching or learning. So I hope today that some of these examples are educational for you, okay? And the last one, an investigator. Okay, where does an investigator work? What's the name of a place where an investigator might work? Everywhere. Okay, the NBI, the National Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, a police station, great. The CIA, yeah. CSI, great, yeah, okay, great. So those people are investigators, okay? You could also have some other examples. You could have an insurance investigator to make sure that a claim is legitimate, right? You could have someone who does investigations for accounting, okay? They check that all the numbers add up, okay? Private investigators, great, there's another one, great. So we know what those things are because you're telling me those things. I know you know what those things mean. Okay, so now let's have a look down here. What we're going to do, it says the instructions here. Read the topic sentence. The topic is circled. Underline the controlling idea. Okay, so let's do a couple of examples. Let's look at the first one here. The new test has 3 sections dealing with 3 important skills. So we know the topic is the new test. Now, what is the controlling idea in here? What is the controlling idea? What's the information that we're learning about the test? 3 sections and 3 important skills by the looks of it, right? Oh, sorry, my pen's all over the place. Let me, let me do that again. Okay, so yeah, it looks like this piece, right? 3 sections with 3 important skills. Okay, next one. The shocking crash of the airplane off the coast of Florida confused investigators. What do we think the controlling idea is here? Confused investigators, good, yeah, right? That's the idea, okay, right? Because where it is, this piece here, that's just the location, but that's not really what the article is about, right? That's not what we know we're going to learn about. We're probably going to learn about why it confused investigators, right? So the bit about Florida doesn't really matter so much, okay? Let's try one more, and then we'll move on to another activity here. So let's do one more. Crossword puzzles are not only educational and fun, but also addictive. What do you think here? So crossword puzzles is the main idea. What are we doing here? Addictive, okay. Okay. And so some people are also saying these parts, right? So it looks like here we're saying they're not only educational and fun, but also addictive. Now, this one might depend where this sentence is in the overall passage. Maybe this idea we already wrote about, and now we're saying, yes, they're that, but also they're addictive. And maybe the rest of this paragraph is about the addiction. Or if this is the beginning of a brand new paragraph and there's been nothing before, then maybe the educational and fun part is also part of what we're going to learn about, okay? So this actually depends on where it is in the paragraph, okay? Great, okay. So last one, we'll do this little activity down here as well, okay? We've got a few more words here: contribution, immigrant, and recognized. We'll just skip over those quickly. Here it says, read the 3 sentences, check the best one, underline the controlling idea, okay? So let's take a look at this one. So the first one here, for number 1, I'm just going to mark on here, A, B, or C. So A, B, or C. So which one of those do you think is the best topic sentence? Okay, so we got a B from Richard. Any others? B. Okay, most people seem to think B is the best one, okay? Okay, so what is the controlling idea in here? What is the controlling idea? Learning languages, okay? We might get a little bit more about that because there's a little bit more detail, right? Yeah, they like learning more than males do, okay? So female students like learning more than males do. So maybe we could say this piece that I'm kind of dotting here is part of it as well, but we're in comparison to males. We're talking about female students more than males in this case, okay? Great. So research is what we're going to read about, but the idea is that females like learning more than males do. Okay, so that will be interesting. Okay, let's look at one more, number 2. So again, down here, let's change the lettering. Let's use X, Y, and Z for these ones, X, Y, and Z. Ah, it's a bad Z. Okay, so X, Y, and Z, which one is the best topic sentence here? X, 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 X. We got lots of X's already. Great. Okay, so this one is voted the best. Cats are better pets than goldfish for many reasons. Okay, so what's the main idea here? Yeah, we're looking at why they're better, right? They're better pets than goldfish, right? And then the reasons is what we're going to find out about, right? Great. Okay, good job. So let me erase. Oh, actually, I'll just skip. We'll skip the page. We'll go to the next page because we're off to another page now anyway. Let me just check my time. We're pretty good. Okay, so what we're going to do now, next activity here is, let me zoom in again. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay, now that, whoops, excuse me. Crazy marks everywhere. This one we're going to do in Padlet. This one we're going to do in Padlet. So let me put the Padlet link back here. If you need to go to the Padlet again, just wait and I will show you what we're going to do. Okay, here it says these topic sentences are too general. Okay, using the same topic, write a nice topic sentence. So here's the example. Flowers are beautiful. And we could say, flowers are the best gift to receive when you're feeling down, okay? Or only 4 kinds of flowers grow in the short summers in Alaska, okay? Right? So flowers are beautiful is too general. We want to have a controlling idea here to make it nice and clear, okay? So what we'll do, let's do this one in Padlet, and then everybody can type and we can see them all, okay? So I'm gonna switch screens, go back to Padlet. The first one is cats are nice. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share it this way. So fingers crossed. Did that share? Oh no, hang on, my sharing's locked up. Okay, here we go. Let me share that one. Fingers crossed this is working. Okay, so I think if I do this, then I can see the Padlet and the questions at the same time, right? So you may be able to do this well, especially if you're on a computer, okay? So in the chat box, can you see the Padlet and the questions side by side on my screen? I think we can because people are typing. Okay, good one. So we've got here, someone's writing about Paris already. That's nice. There are many cat breeds that are nice and cute. Okay. Someone's writing about Paris. There are so many exciting places to visit in Paris, the capital city of France. Very nice. Cats are fluffy and huggable. Okay, right. We might need a little bit more detail than that. That's okay. Many people keep cats because they are nice. Okay. We could change that one. Actually, many people keep cats because they're nice. Maybe we change it to just, there are many reasons that people keep cats, right? As pets, right? Yeah. Cats are nice to have in your home if you are lonesome. Okay. Good. Persian cats are adorable. Okay. And are easy to take care of. Okay. So there you're talking specifically about Persians. Wow, there's so many here. Okay, this is cool. Now, if you wanted to, somebody's already started on Paris. Do you want to try one about Paris as well? You guys are doing a pretty good job. Cats are sweet and grumpy at the same time. I like that one. That's very true. Very nice. So a couple of people are writing about Paris now. That's good. This is great. So this is, again, you can see this is the way I can see what my students are writing. And then the other thing is I can do, if I like them, I can upvote them. As you can see on Padlet here, there's an upvote and a downvote. So we can actually vote. Unfortunately, because we've got like 400 people here, there's too many to vote on, right? But we could do the voting as well. That would be maybe a good activity for class if you can also do it in this way. Remember, you could use this in face-to-face class as well. You could use the Padlet, even if you've got a face-to-face class. Students could be on phones, typing it on phones. It could go up on the big screen where everyone can see it. That can be, even in a face-to-face class, this can be a good way to do things, right? Very nice. Okay, you guys are having a lot of fun here. But for the sake of time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this here. Let's stop this activity for now. There's a ton of these things here. Later on, this Padlet is still open and you can still go in and look at these later. You can go through and look at the sentences and decide which ones you like later on by yourself. But man, we've got so many here. We've got a picture of a cat. I love it. I'm upvoting that one because it's got a picture. I can't upvote it. There we go. It's got a picture of a cat. I'm upvoting that one. Very nice. Good job. Okay, well, let's move on, everybody. So I'm going to close my Padlet and I'm going to screen share back to my main screen. just so I'm not getting too distracted with too many things here. There we go, back on the main screen again. Okay, so what I want to do, time is okay. Let's go forward a little bit more. Okay, now what we've got here, activity 7, at the top again, we've got a few more words to know. We'll see why we're learning all these words to know shortly, right? Okay, so 7 words here: connection, control, culture, depend on, effective, imagine, and in some. I think you probably know most of those words, but maybe in some is a phrase my students might not know so well. So we might say, you know, finally, completely, in some, as we add something up to conclude, right? So we use it as a connector to maybe wrap something up, okay? Or to kind of literally add things together and look at what it means all together, okay? Great. So sometimes I might just go over these things for my students. Again, I might ask them, can you give me a sentence or a couple of sentences that use the word in some, okay? Great. Now, the activity here, activity 7, what we need to do is read the paragraph and write a topic sentence, okay? Now, we'll do this one in the chat box, okay? So let's look at the paragraph down here. It says here, reasons for playing instruments. So if you can quickly read this one, some people learn to play a musical instrument because they want to have fun, they want to play it with their friends or maybe in a band. Other people learn to play an instrument because blah, 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 okay? So if you quickly look at what's there, and then you can see at the bottom, in some, there's clearly not just one main reason, okay? Now, what's in the chat box, there's a couple of lines here, right? What topic sentence would work for this paragraph? What do you think? What's a good topic sentence for this paragraph? Okay, so we've got one from Roland that says people play instruments for various reasons. Okay. What else do we have here? A couple of people are still typing, right? People play musical instruments for different reasons. Good. Playing musical instruments has many different advantages. Now just be careful with that one, because we're not so much talking about the advantages of the instruments. We're mainly talking about the reasons people play them, right? What they're actually going to learn might be something different, right? So maybe advantage is not the best one to use here. Yeah, so a lot of people are putting in things about different reasons why we would play instruments, right? And it basically tells you that up here. It says the title is reasons for playing instruments. So if we're talking about different reasons, the variety of reasons, there are many reasons. Here are a few reasons why people play musical instruments. Yeah, it's not just one reason, there are several. So therefore we need to say a few, several, many, etc., etc., etc. Okay, but yeah, it's definitely about reasons. Okay, okay, let's try one more. There's one more down here. Okay, so here we've got crocodile. Wow, the largest reptiles, saltwater crocodiles in Australia, usually. Okay, now, so here we've got one is size. Most modern reptiles are small. Dinosaurs were much larger than any reptile on Earth now. Okay, and so on and so on and so on. So if you look down that list, okay, what might be a good topic sentence that goes at the top of this paragraph here? Some people are still typing about instruments, that's okay. Okay, there are, so Kimberly says there's a lot of differences between modern reptiles and dinosaurs, yeah. Okay, so Alan, yes, it is a comparison between them, but what would the sentence be that we could use, right? Okay, so Jose says, reptiles and dinosaurs are different, sorry, I missed it, different, I've lost it. Different animals, I think it was. Okay. Okay, okay, someone, I can't pronounce the name, sorry, says, he did it with a question. How do modern reptiles differ from dinosaurs? Now, actually, if you look at this one, it's often referring to dinosaurs. Yeah, it mentions dinosaurs a few more times. It might be more appropriate to just switch those two words around. How did dinosaurs differ from modern reptiles, right? So we could do that as well. Okay. Good. What else have we got here? So many new messages. My chat box is misbehaving. Sorry. It's a little bit laggy for me. There we go. Modern reptiles different from dinosaurs in a lot of different ways. Yeah, good. Okay. So yeah, good. So you've got the general idea. We're talking about the differences between modern reptiles and dinosaurs, which is exactly what the title tells us as well. Okay, great. Okay, so this one's fairly easy. Let's move on. And we're going to look at a couple of other ideas. Now, as we went through the section here, we were looking at little pieces of vocabulary, right? We had, you know, a vocab section up here, okay? So what do we look at this for? Well, part of the program is not only improving people's writing skills, but also developing their vocabulary, right? And so if I move forward here, I'm going to jump over a few activities. And so there's a lot of different activities here. We're talking about commas and how to join ideas together. But then later on, we come to here, I've got the hiccups. And we're looking at vocabulary. Now, in this unit, here are all of the words that we looked at, okay, as we went through this unit. So here we've got, how many is that? 21 words? Yeah, 21 words. And you can see some of these ones, which I'm just now marking in blue, are from the academic word list. If you're not familiar with the academic word list, it is the list of words most commonly used at the university level in textbooks, in research papers, other things like this across a lot of different disciplines, okay? Put together as a way to help people get ready for university by knowing a good amount of vocabulary that helps them understand what they're learning, right? Okay, so yeah, so these words are really useful to know. Now down here in the first part, we have a couple of activities. We have a couple of word associations. So in the chat box, let's just try and do these in the chat box. So climb, is climb to go up or to go down? Which one's climb? So number one here, climb, is it go up or go down? Which one? Climb is go up, yes, climb is to go up, right? Usually we say climb is to go up and maybe descend would be to go down, okay? You can say climb down, but then you'd have to say climb down, not just climb, okay? Right, confuse, is it to get it right or make a mistake? Make a mistake, good, someone's really quick on that one. Number three, depend, is it need or try? If I depend on someone, yes, I need someone or something, right? Okay, last one, economy, is it food or money? Food or money? Yeah, money, it more closely associates with money, right? Okay, great. Now, another thing with a lot of words is we have collocations, right? Words that naturally go together with each other. And it's important that we know a lot of these collocations so that our writing is easy to read and it fits, right? It doesn't have these errors in it. Okay, so now I've got 5 words here: climb, contribution, effective, reduce, and sum, and 5 gaps. Okay, so let's quickly look. What word should go in the first gap here? Something waste. Reduce waste. Okay, so it's hard to write with this pen, but I'm do it as best I can. Reduce waste. Number 2, something to science. What would this way? A contribution. I'm just going to write the first 3 letters to make it easy on myself. Good. Number 3. What would we do with a tree? We would climb a tree. Very good. Okay, number 4, a very something leader. What would it be for number 4? A very, we've only got 2 left. Effective leader, good. I'll just write EFF because then you know which word it is. Good, and the last one therefore must be in sum, right? Good, okay, nice. So you can see here, we're just helping the students go over these sorts of collocations. Do they know them? Maybe, but what we're doing is we're reminding them. And the more we remind them, the better they will remember. Memory is a thing that takes a lot of repetition, right? The more we put these words and phrases and ideas in front of students, the better they will remember them. And then they'll use them automatically without thinking too hard, okay? So these little vocab activities are really good for this kind of thing. Okay, so let me zoom back out. You can see there's some other activities here that I'm not going to do because I've got a couple of other things I want us to look at. We've got word forms over here and vocabulary and writing. We do this one as well. Okay, great. We've also got some activities down here about editing for building better sentences. We've got some editing ones here. We've also got an activity at the top here about just writing sentences using ideas. But I actually like number 18 here. I want to zoom in here on number 18. Okay, because I really like these activities. These ones are fun, right? What we've got here is we've got several different ideas in little sentences And we want to put all of these together into a big sentence, one sentence. Okay, so it says don't change or omit anything, but we want to put this together to make a single sentence. Okay, now we'll do this, we'll do this in the chat box. Okay, we'll try this in the chat box. Okay, so the first one says a condition requires attention. Okay, we've got the condition is a medical condition, it is serious, and the attention needs to be immediate. So if we put all that together, what do you think we could do? Some people are jumping ahead. Okay, so Lady Anne says a serious medical condition requires immediate attention. That's true. We could say that, right? What else could we say? Okay, so Indaluka says if a medical condition is serious, where did it go? I've lost it. Someone's typed over the top of it. I'm sorry. Oh no. Can I go back up? I can't go back up. Why can't I go back up? Okay, I think it was if a medical condition is serious, it requires immediate attention. I think that's what you wrote. Sorry, I lost it in the chat box. Okay, what else do we have here? A serious medical condition requires immediate attention. Okay, so someone there said, okay, so there's a few things where our grammar is maybe not quite correct. What we could do is we can get students to do this maybe in pairs. They can write sentences with each other. They can also edit their sentences with each other to try and get good ones together, okay? Immediate attention is required for a serious medical condition. I think, Richard, should be the word at the end of your sentence, right? Okay, great. I think you've got a good idea. Let's do number 2. Some people are already doing number 2. I've noticed about Canada. Canada is a country. Canada is large. The population of Canada is very small. Okay, Wayne says, Canada is a large country with a very small population. Works for me, right? Okay, a couple of other people have said the same thing. Vianney said, although Canada is a large country, its population is very small. I like that because you're using words and you know, using grammar and punctuation in different ways. It creates a little bit of a different feeling, right? I like it. Okay, Matteo, so you said Canada's a large country, however, its population is very small. Then you're using 2 sentences, but what you could do is you could join those with a semicolon, right? And that puts them essentially into one sentence. Okay, for such a large country, Canada has a very small population. I like that one too. That's nice. Okay, one more. Let's look on the next page. There's one more on the next page. Let's have a bit of fun with this as well. Let me zoom in a bit more so we can see it. Here we go. Okay, here's 5. The assignment is to write a paper. The assignment is the last one. It is for our history class. The class is British history. The paper should explain how the War of 1812 started. Let's put all of that into one sentence. Who can give us a good one there? I like your Canada ones. The Canada ones are not. Ooh, Canada, colon, a large country with a small population. Ah, nice. I like that one, Joseph. Very good. Okay, number 3. Can we do number 3 here about the British history paper? What can we say? Gestasani, I like your one too. Very cool. Okay, the assignment is about British history. Okay, Rocky, what have we got here? The last assignment of our British history class is to write a paper that should explain how the War of 1812 started. Good, that worked. Okay, what else have we got here? The last assignment in history class is to write a paper in British history explaining how the War of 1812 started. Okay. What else could we do? Because a lot of you are starting with the last assignment. What else could we do where we change the order of some of those things? What else could we do to change the order of some of those words? So I could turn it into like a gerund, couldn't I? I could say writing a paper about to explain how the War of 1812 started is the last assignment in my British history class, right? So I started with writing a paper, right? So I'm using a gerund at the front to switch how I'm going to put that sentence out there. Maybe I'm changing the focus. I'm maybe changing it from the last assignment to writing a paper, right? Okay, so I'm just switching things around to make it a different kind of sentence. Ah, Lady Anne, very nice. I like your one, right? It's disappeared in the chat box already, right? But yeah, you changed the order of the words there and then it disappeared on me, sorry. Okay. Very good. An explanatory paper of how the War of 1812 started is the last assignment for our British history class. Alexander, I like that one a lot. Very nice. Okay, good one. You guys like that activity, right? I can see a lot of you getting into that one, right? Yeah, it's a really fun activity to do this. There's this kind of activity is in every single unit. The students can have a puzzle trying to put these sentences together. A good fun activity there. Okay. Okay, we've got time for one more thing. We've only got about 12 or 13 minutes left, and this one will take us a little bit longer. What we're going to do, I will switch screens in a moment, and what we're going to do is we're going to do some brainstorming, okay? And the reason I want to do this one is because while we've been studying the details of topic sentences and vocabulary and putting sentences together and how do we start a paragraph and things like that, that's not how you start to write, right? When you start to write, usually it's like there's a topic and I have to think about what I'm going to write about, okay? Usually that's the first challenge. So again, in every level, there's always, or in every unit, there's always a brainstorming activity. So let's look at some different ways we can actually start to write, okay? And then later on, there's writing paragraphs and so on, right? So let me switch screens. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump back to my PowerPoint for a second. So I'm jumping back to here. Okay, today's lesson, Great Writing 5th edition. Yeah, writer's block, exactly, right? So we're going to try and see how we can get over some writer's block here. And we're going to brainstorm from a central idea and then grow that idea out. So I've chosen one that was on the page we just finished at, which is international flights. Okay, international flights. So what things can we think about to do with international flights? So as you put them in the chat box, okay, airports, great. So I'm going to write these in as we go, as fast as I can. Airports, pandemic, okay. Cancelled, someone said. I'm going to fill up as many of these as I can, as quickly as I can. Delayed, yeah, okay, cancelled and delayed. That kind of goes together. Airplane, yeah, sure. We'll put that one in, airplane. Flight details, lockdown, yeah. Destinations, yeah, I like destinations. Let's put that one in there. So I'm just taking a selection of what you're saying because there's so many. Tourist, but in class you might put everything down. You might get everyone to contribute to this in a big digital screen or a big piece of paper, right? Visa, yeah, very good. You need a visa. Health protocols, ooh, I like that one, right? Health protocols, okay. So what we've got here, protocols, what we've got here is we've got a lot of different ideas, right? Now, could we make a paragraph about international flights using a few of these ideas? I guess we could, right? We could say, in today's environment, international flights or trying to travel on an international flight creates a lot of challenges, okay? And then we could go into the details of maybe a lot of flights are cancelled, so it's hard to get to certain destinations. Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of health protocols we have to follow at the airports, blah, blah, blah. And we could write a paragraph just about international flights, right? But we could also write a paragraph about destinations. Let's take destinations over here and let's expand on destinations. So what words could we expand off of in terms of destinations? Okay, someone's put domestic. Okay, domestic and international, I'll write INTL like that for international. The beach, yeah, sure. Usually the international flight doesn't go directly to the beach, but it gets you really close, right? Okay, the travel time to get to the destination, travel time. Okay, the weather, okay, good. What else could we say here? Business or pleasure? Okay, so are we going to this destination? What's our purpose, right? So maybe I'll put purpose, business or pleasure there, right? What else have we got here? Tourist spot, transportation, okay. What's the transportation available at the destination? Okay, so what you can see here, transportation, is, again, we've got a whole bunch of ideas. Now, if we were writing an essay about international flights, then maybe destinations is one of our paragraphs, and here's a bunch of ideas about those destinations, right? So we could use one layer down to write a paragraph about a bigger topic, right? Okay, let's do one more. Let's talk about Let's take travel time. I'm going to erase weather here just so I've got some space. Let's talk about this one. I'm not sure what we'll get off this one. Travel time. What could we detail about travel time, or what else would that give for us, right? Oh, I like Raina and Stephen. You guys are writing whole or whole sentences now. This is great. Okay, so travel time. We've got stopover. That's a good one. Stopover. What else? Long time. Okay, so it's very long. Okay, schedule. Nice. I like that one. Or schedule, depending on how you say that word. A layover. Yeah, it's kind of like a stopover, a little different. Transit. Nice. I like that. Right, good. What else have we got? Half an hour. Delayed. Okay, delays. Yeah, let's just put delays in there, right? Okay, delays. Okay, so then even off that travel time thing, we could then write a paragraph. We could be like, you know, there are many things that might affect the travel time of the international flight you are taking to your destination. These can include things like delays in the flight time, or if you have to go through transit, right? You might have a stopover where you stay one night in the city, you know, blah, 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 blah. And so you could have this whole paragraph again, based on just those few bubbles that we drew off of the travel time, right? Okay, so I hope you can see maybe this kind of cloud diagram is useful when you're getting students to brainstorm, and they don't have to pick every idea off here. Maybe they just choose a few, right? So maybe they say, okay, let me change colors here real quick. Oh, not that one. Where's my pen gone? So maybe we say, okay, I'm going to talk about international flights. I'm going to do destinations. I'm going to talk about domestic destinations where you might go for business and pleasure. And they just pick a few ideas, and that's what they write their paragraph about, or they write their short essay about. Okay. Yeah, so it's quite a nice tool. There are other ways to do it too. A couple of other things you can try, if I just switch back to red here. You could also do things like charts, like T-charts, with maybe a pro and a con on something. If you're doing an argument, you could brainstorm a pro and a con. You could also brainstorm like sequence events that go on. So you could just have a chain. Maybe you have a chain like this, and you're brainstorming in the sequence. And then if you think of something different in a sequence, then you just add that thing and then you chain it like that, right? So yeah, like chains, T-charts, bubble, or cloud webs like this. These are a lot of different ways to put these sorts of things together, right? But a lot of different techniques you can use to brainstorm with your students. Yeah, Venn and sequence diagrams. I like those ones too, Robert. Okay, good. So I hope that was useful today. I've kind of come to the end just for the sake of time. I want to allow a couple of minutes for questions and see what's in the Q&A box that we might look at in a second. But just to wrap this up, what we've talked about today is the Great Writing material. It's the 5th edition of the program. It consists of 6 books that run from foundations up to level 5. And as you can see from the titles, a little hard to read here, but each of the books has a different focus. Book 1 is great sentences for great paragraphs. And then as you go through, like book 4 is about great essays. Book 5 is about research, right? And so as you go through the books, you're learning a set of different skills and building up, okay? And this is working on vocab, grammar, and writing skills. It's designed for students who have at least a high beginner level, an A2 level of language. The beginning readings are shorter, the later readings are longer. You can go all the way through to, you know, university level students who are very fluent using this kind of material. Okay, how you get a copy, I'm going to mention in just a second, right? The last thing I wanted to mention is the 5th edition. It is the 5th edition. This material is really tried and tested. The authors have worked on this over and over again, and in its 5th edition now, it's a really popular series, okay? If you want to know more, I'm putting up a poll on the screen. Just give me 1 second, launch polling. If you want to find out more about this program, tick yes to this poll. We will give your email address to one of our sales reps, and they can get in touch with you and send you a sample or tell you where you can download the sample units and things like this as well, okay? Shani, are you a writer? I'm not a writer, I'm a trainer for National Geographic Learning. So I don't write the material, but I train everybody how to use them, right? Just to answer that question. Looking in the chat box, do we get an e-certificate? Yes, it will come in an email to you tomorrow. Okay, that's okay. Good. Okay, nice job. Don't go away just yet. We've got 1 or 2 more quick things to go over. but I hope you've learned a few things from what we've gone over today. I'm going to leave the poll running. So if you voted, you can just move it to the side or something like that. But yeah, just Q&A. I'm just going to look in the Q&A box quickly and see what's here. Yeah, so Dita asked in Q&A, a good writing book for teaching ESL students at the university level. Actually, that's what this series, Great Writing, was designed for. One of the authors, Keith False, was working at a university with ESL students, and he developed activities that he eventually turned into these books. Okay, so that's a really this is a really good series for university students. Also quite good for maybe high school students as well. Okay, if their English is good enough. Okay. Chester's asking, what makes a topic sentence similar and different with a thesis statement? Okay. So a thesis statement, you're really putting forward an argument, right? You're putting forward a viewpoint or something you want to debate and discuss, okay? Whereas a topic sentence doesn't really have to be about a debate or an argument. It could be, it could just be we're doing a description of something, right? So when you're doing a thesis, it's more like an argument, right? Okay, will there be other webinars in the future? Yes, we do them almost every week. I'll share some information with you in a second. On writing specifically, most of our programs include some kind of writing, but we do a lot of these webinars at different levels. We do them for very young learners all the way up to university students and adults. So just check the webinar pages I will show you in a second, and you can see more information about those. Okay, what else have we got here? Just take a quick look down the list. Do you also have, for reading? Yes, we do other webinars for reading. You'll see some actually next week. There's one that's going to cover some reading as well and some grammar. Can a topic sentence be in the form of a question? Yes, it can, because a question is a good way to engage an audience person, someone who's reading it, right? Very nice. Do we provide a recording of this webinar? Yes, you will get a recording link in your email tomorrow. So you will see this whole thing on the recording as well. Okay, great. I think I've gotten through quite a few of those. I'm going to stay online later to keep answering questions. But right now, what I will do, let me just wrap things up here. Let me close that window. So just to let you know about what's going on following on from here. As I mentioned, tomorrow, you will get an email that has a recording link and a survey in it. The survey is only 4 questions. It basically says, do you like the webinar? Did you like the materials? Would you like to know more? And then at the bottom of it, there is a link and you can download the certificate you can see on the screen right here. Okay. And just to let you know about other webinars that are coming up next week on Wednesday, Will, who's here with us today, will be doing a session from our World Link program, and he's going to be looking at health. The topic is health, but one of the skills is grammar. Okay, now to join that, you'll see the links in the emails that you will get after this as well. But because our webinars are now getting so popular, we're now offering 2 sessions. Okay, so there's going to be one at 10 a.m. in the morning, same time as today, but also there'll be one at 6 p.m. in the evening if that's more suitable for you. Both will be the same, it's just a repeat, right? So you can join one or the other, you don't need to join both, okay? And also, I'm doing another webinar on October 8, one day after, and it's actually down here. It's more focused on young learners, but you may be interested in it, and our webinars page here has a lot of webinars that go global all over the world. So if you're interested in learning more about learning management systems, especially for young learners, then again, on October 8, again, there are 2 sessions for that webinar, and more than welcome to join us for those as well. Okay, so just before I finish that, I'm going in the chat box when I get back to my too many windows open here. Let me grab this. This is where you can find the webinar for Will. Whoops, I typed it in twice. Oh dear, okay, 1 second. Let me just clean that up and try again. My chat box is laggy. Thanks, Kitty, for putting that in. My chat box is really laggy for some reason. Okay, and if you want to find out more about great writing, let me just put the product page in here as well. If I can get it to work. My chat box is so laggy at the moment. Okay. There we go, when that sends. Okay, so the link I just posted there is, it's our webpage for the Great Writing Series. If you want to learn more about it, you can go and check there as well, okay? Great. So if you're going to head away, that's fine. I'm going to stay online and keep answering more questions because I see there's a lot in the chat box. So I'm going to go back there. But apart from that, do join us, become a fan. You can catch us on Facebook. You can get us on WeChat as well if you use WeChat. And yeah, just keep an eye out for us. And let me take a look in the Q&A and see what else is here. So I'm going to answer all these like by voice because it's easier. Will we have other free writing webinars in the future? Yes, we will, but we do webinars on all sorts of topics. What are your recommendations for further development? Okay, so Matteo, I'm assuming you're meaning for yourself. There are a lot of webinars around in the world today because of the pandemic and everybody's going online because we can't travel for face-to-face trainings. Or face-to-face development, but just use our webinars, use our regional and global webinars. But also there's a lot of things out there. If you look at TESOL, the TESOL organization, Cambridge University, a lot of these organizations put out webinars you can learn from as well. Okay, good one. Does the series have one for academic writing? So Phoebe, you asked about. So academic writing, if you look at the later levels of great writing, it's moving a little bit more away from general writing and it's getting into essays, which is more academic, right? And also research type of writing. So those are actually the upper levels of the great writing series, okay? But then there are also other materials we have that deal a little bit more with those academic skills as well. So if you dropped your email or you reply to the survey and you say you want some more information, we can make sure we get you some information about those. Okay, great. What program are you using for the presentation? Asked Marvi. So the learning material I was showing you is in the classroom presentation tool, okay, that we provide with all of our materials. So if you are an educator, a teacher, an instructor, a lecturer, and you use our program with your students, the students have student books and sometimes workbooks as well. As a teacher, you get the teacher set of materials, which is the teacher's books. It comes with that classroom presentation tool, either as a USB that you can plug into your computer or as an online tool that you have a password to access, okay? So the presentation material I'm using is a custom tool that is for each of our programs has a tool like that, okay? So that was what I was using. The other tool I was using is Padlet, which is just www.padlet.com. I'll type it in the chat box. And Padlet is a free tool. You can use it you can use it free, a certain amount. I actually have a paid account, but you don't need a paid account to use it, okay? Again, it's really laggy for me in the chat box. I can't actually type. Okay. Okay, Princess Castroma says, my friend and I were watching together on one screen. Can we get our own certificate? When you get the certificate is a download. So you download the file. You can write your own name in the certificate. Okay, so you can download it. Your friend can download it. You can both write your names in. You both get a certificate. Okay, very nice. Padlet.com. I'm still trying to get it in the chat box. It's a bit laggy. Okay, what else have we got here? Let's see. Is it a must for essays to have a thesis statement? How about topic sentences? Well, in an essay, depends what you're doing in an essay, but typically in an essay, you're arguing a point, right? And so you generally need to have a thesis statement somewhere in usually the opening paragraph, right? Whereas a topic sentence, usually you have a topic sentence for every single paragraph, right? So if you want to learn more about that, yeah, hunt up the difference between, I mean, you can find good information online. Yeah, try and hunt those bits of information out. That one's done, thank you. I'm checking two windows at once. Are the materials available for retail sale? I want to use these for tutoring, says Matteo. Yes, right? So if you contact the sales reps, it is possible to buy materials direct through an online website from us. However, usually you would go through a distributor, but almost all the distributors I know do retail sales, okay? They're not always just selling to an institution. they will do retail sales, single copies, right? I have a student here in Taipei. I just bought a copy of Great Writing for him. I need to take it to him later this week. But yeah, I got a retail copy of it for using with a student that I tutor in the evening. Okay, great. Okay, I'm looking through anything else. What else is here? A little bit laggy at my end. Okay. Any good recommendations for commonly used word lists for university level? Yes, go look up the academic word list. Just that list, okay? The AWL, academic word list. If you like search for that, Google it or Baidu or whatever you're using, you'll probably find some other references as well to other lists. Any kind of list that you see off that search, academic word list, is going to take you to those kind of commonly used words, okay? And then apart from that, if you look at Cepher scale word lists as well, then they can give you, like, if you've got B1 and B2 students, what's appropriate vocab for those students. You can find that kind of information there as well. Okay, so that was a good question too. Good, yes. So someone said here as well, can you get low price editions or downloadable copies? Yes, we do sell ebooks of all of our materials, okay? So yeah, especially if physical books are not manageable for whatever reason, because of price or whatever, there are ebook versions as well, okay? And so you can check those out, and the pricing is different. So yeah, definitely go and you can look at our website to see more about the ebooks as well, okay? That's a good one. Still got 400 people online waiting to answer questions. Okay, Carla asks, how can readers transition to being writers? Oh, I like that one. I do that a lot with, I teach a lot of younger students as well, not just older students. And I use reading as a model for writing. Okay, so I give my students a lot of things like paragraphs, right? And then we go through and maybe we underline keywords or phrases or things like that. And then basically, if we've got the ability, we delete those pieces. So we've still kind of got a framework, but it's got a lot of gaps. And then I ask my students, okay, now with a different idea, can you go through and recreate the paragraph or change what you need to make that work? And students, I often find students who have that scaffolding, they have that framework to work off of, can start to write a lot easier. And writing is a confidence thing. When you feel like you can write, then you will more naturally want to write, right? So I think that's a good one. Transitioning from readers to writers, whatever you're reading, use that as examples that you then kind of fill in to create future writing. That's usually a good activity, even for older students, right? Works really well. Okay. Great. Thanks for all the comments and thank yous in the chat box. I'm busy answering questions, but I am seeing a lot of those. Good ones. So Carla, I like that question. Thank you. Let's see, what else have we got here? Abigail, I like this question. If writing a short phrase for email subjects, okay, what tip could you give so the recipient will be encouraged to open the email, okay? What you do is, we can do one of two things, and this comes from marketing, basically, is you either put a really strong action word in there, right? Like open or activate or like do now, kind of that kind of word, right? And that attracts people's like desire to perform an action. But the other one is you make the subject line a question. So for example, how do I write great topic sentences? Right? If you put that in as a question, then it triggers people saying, yeah, I've got that question. And then they're more naturally likely to open it to try and find out what the answer is, okay? It's like an almost unconscious reaction. When we see a question, we want to know what the answer is, right? So Abigail, there you go. So yeah, action words or questions as subject lines can work really well in emails, right? Good one. Let's see what else. We've got time for a few more here. Is it a must for essays to have a thesis statement? How about, I think I answered that one already. Let me close that one off. There are many, Gerald says, there are many other brainstorming strategies, though I have also crafted some. For the benefit of the audience, share more strategies. Okay. One thing I'd suggest is that if you look up writers' websites, author websites. You know, a lot of authors have blogs and things like that as well. They often talk about a lot of the strategies that they use when they are teaching students to write or when they're developing their own writing, right? So rather than listen to me, what I'd suggest you do is go and look for author blogs or development websites where people maybe combine together to write material, write stories, or write pieces. They give advice to each other, and they'll be able to share a lot more strategies with you than I can share with you in the next like 30 seconds, right? So yeah, okay. Great. Oh, Julius has got a good question in the chat box. What are the challenges and opportunities you encounter in English language teaching amid the COVID-19 pandemic? I'm doing this for my research. Wow, there's so many. Julius, I'd suggest, like, if you want to drop an email or reply to one of the emails we send, so you can get in touch with us. And I think I've got a couple of things on my computer I might be able to share with you that are things we've heard about some of the challenges and opportunities. But yeah, maybe just drop us an email, Julius, and we'll try and give you a couple of ideas, right? Very good. Okay. What else? Just looking down the list here. Thank you, thank you. Yes, you can get your own certificate. Yeah, certificates, again, they come out tomorrow in the email. And Mr. Tiffany, by any chance, are you from South Africa? No, I'm not, but my accent is strange. I'm from New Zealand, and I'm from the southern part of New Zealand, which was colonized by people from Scotland. And so our accent is a little bit different, even compared to the other people in New Zealand, right? So there you go. So have a wee bit of the Scottish in me, aye, right? Anyway, I'm not from South Africa, sorry. I could talk about rugby teams and stuff, but we'll leave it alone, okay? Okay. Are there webinars on literature? Now, we don't do a lot of literature, John, at National Geographic Learning because we're National Geographic Learning, we tend to focus on things about real people, real places, real stories, real events, you know, these kinds of things. So we're not really looking at fiction and literature so much, okay? But I know there are a ton of other resources out there. And like I mentioned earlier, lots of other organizations and so on, universities and so on provide webinars. So while we don't do a lot on literature, I know there are other places that do. So hunt around, see what you can find, just encouragement to do that, right? Great. What else have we got? Okay. Yeah, so a couple of people are asking about the links, the follow-ups. They come out tomorrow because I need to get the recording from today to attach it to the email. I get that later today, and then I'll attach it to the emails and so on, and then I'll send it out tomorrow morning, okay? Great, and the certificate for the people who are asking, it comes in the email tomorrow again, okay? Great. Okay, great. I think I've got most of the questions there. Some people are repeating questions and things, but again, like if you didn't get your question answered and you do want it answered, you have a specific question that you want answered in the survey that is in the email tomorrow, there is a space in there where you can just write comments, questions, suggestions, just fill in that piece and it will come back to me and then I can take a look at them and try and get you an answer, okay? Very good. So thank you everybody for attending. We're about 15 minutes past answering questions, but that's great. But I hope everybody enjoyed it. Hi, if people are still watching on Facebook Live, nice to see you today. I'm talking with most of the people here on Zoom, but Facebook Live people, we haven't forgotten about you. And if you are on Facebook Live and you want to join the webinar sessions, remember next week there are 2, so hopefully you can get into one of those and we'll see more of you then, okay? But for today, thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to close out the session. Enjoy yourselves and keep in touch. Enjoy our webinars in the future. Thanks very much, all. See you later.